What is going on, you guys? My name is Jess, and welcome to Original Budgets by Jess, where we simply budget happy. And in today's video, I am going to be making cash envelopes for my sinking funds. So let's get into it. In addition to making these cash envelopes, I wanted to take the time to let you guys know a little bit about me since we're going to be budgeting together on YouTube. So my name is Jessica. I was born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona. I currently live in Arizona still. I am 24 years old. I am an office assistant and a head varsity volleyball coach, and also a second and third grade workout coach. But before I became a coach, let's talk about my childhood, because I think it really affects how I budget today. So growing up, I am a middle child of 3. So I have an older sister and a younger brother. I grew up in a single parent household. My parents split up when I was probably in the 2nd grade. I don't really remember what exactly happened, but I know a big part of why they split up was because of money. So growing up, I was always split in between my mom and dad on who would pay for stuff. And at times it was really hard because I was playing sports, my siblings were playing sports as well, and if you've ever played sports, you know it's not cheap. So them always figuring out who would pay for what made me really realize how important money is. As I got older and it was time for me to make my own money, I didn't know where to start. Luckily, there was an opening at my old middle school that I used to attend, and that's how I got my job that I have now. So I am an alumni of the school that I currently work at, and I absolutely love it. Yes, it is a lot of work working at an elementary school, but it's definitely overall rewarding. So fast forward to now, I've been working at the school for 7 years. I've definitely learned a lot, grown a lot, and still love what I do. And it's really shaped how I budget because, as you know or don't know, your income really affects how you get to budget. So like, let's say your job only pays you once a month, you'd probably be just a 1-month budgeter. My job pays me 2 times out of the month, the 5th and the 20th, which is kind of weird because it makes pay periods shorter and then also longer. So sometimes it's difficult to budget out the way a normal person would for just every 2 weeks you get paid. But I've finally have figured out how to maneuver around it to make sure all my bills are covered, and then all my living expenses, I have enough money to last me over until next pay period. So enough about my job, let's get into my budgeting journey. So I started budgeting, I want to say in 2017 after I got my first job. I would definitely say getting my first job taught me a lot. When I first started, I was literally blowing my checks left and right. I was spending money before I even made it. I think a lot of the reason why I did that is because I didn't have a job in high school. So I was reliant on my mom to purchase a lot of the stuff for me. And sometimes the wants that I wanted, she couldn't provide it because she didn't think it was necessary for me to have it. So when I first got my first check, I was like, I'm getting all the wants I want to get. And after a while, it was cool. I was chilling, spending my money how I wanted to spend. Didn't have really any bills to have to pay for besides my phone bill and then the gas for my car. So I was pretty fortunate at that time. But then I got a call. One of the most scariest calls I've ever received. A debt collector called me and she said I owed them $1,000. And at the time, like I said, I was spending all of my money and not really saving it. So the lady was doing all these scare tactics on, we're going to garnish your checks, you owe the money, you need to pay the money, yada, yada, yada. So I paid the money. I didn't have any money left in my bank account after I did that. And it really got me to thinking, like, I need to get way more responsible with my money. I can't just keep on blowing it and blowing it and blowing it and not really saving or multiplying my money. So that's when I went to the internet and started doing my research. And I came across a couple budgeting gurus, I guess you would call them. And the main one that stuck out to me was the Budgetnista and the Budget Mom. Those two ladies really helped me start of my journey. They were able to really break down what I needed to do to start budgeting. And from there, I was able to grow and blossom into the budgeter that I am now. So currently, I am a credit card spender. So instead of using cash, which I have done in the past for a couple of months, I use my credit cards. So how I use my credit cards is I plan out my living expenses and categorize how much each budget will have. Then I deposit it into a separate small savings account and just hold it there until I'm ready to transfer it to my credit card. So for my credit card, I strictly only spend what I have budgeted out in cash. If I don't have the cash for it, it does not go on the credit card. I know for most people, they'll think, oh my gosh, you must be in so much credit card debt. How are you able to do this? It's because I have the discipline to stay on budget and not overspend. But when I do overspend a little bit, I structure out the next pay period to pay off that balance. I make sure each pay period I'm at $0 on my credit card so I don't get into credit card debt. And that's how I'm able to do it. I want to also be honest, I did not start off as a credit card spender. I was definitely the type of person, like I said, was spending money faster than I was making it, which I had a really bad spending habit. And you know, if you have a bad spending habit, you can't use credit cards because then you'll get into credit card debt. So that's how I did cash envelope stuffing. As you can see, a lot of the budgeting community does. And I definitely did that for about 6 months to almost a year. But then I realized that it wasn't fitting my lifestyle anymore. After really understanding the value of $1 and seeing my spending habits, I transitioned into the credit cards. A couple of reasons of doing that is, one, I didn't like the amount of cash I was carrying around on a daily basis. 2, I was afraid I would either lose the money or the money would get stolen and then I'd be screwed until the next pay period. And so I decided to transition back to cards. But I definitely, if you are starting off with budgeting, I highly recommend that you do start off with cash envelopes because it really helps you visually see how you're spending your money, which I think is important because you'll really learn a lot about yourself and about your money habits when you do cash envelopes. Talk about where I'm at now. So currently my goals are to stay debt free. The only debt that I do have is a $7,000 car loan, but I don't really consider that like real debt, like major credit cards or student loans or other types of loans. So that's why I don't really consider it debt, but technically it is. But currently I'm not really focused on paying off that balance super fast. What I'm mainly focused on now is increasing my income and also saving it. I definitely do want to start working towards purchasing a house and possibly maybe moving out of Arizona, and definitely want to travel. Now that I'm older, I definitely have noticed there's a big world out there that I definitely want to explore. So traveling is definitely on my top to-do list and priorities that I want to start really focusing on. I'm accomplishing my goals for my finances is getting back to my roots. So right now, as you can see during this whole video, I've been making cash envelopes. So each of these are small amount categories that I'm going to be saving that I don't think is necessary to keep in the bank. Obviously, saving up for a house or big purchases I want to keep in the bank because I want to incur a little bit of that interest on top of it so I can make a little bit of money on the money that I'm saving already. But these categories like the birthday, the work, the new laptop, these are all smaller amounts that I want to save in cash because I do find the cash stuffing videos really fun and fascinating to watch, and this is my way of being part of all that fun. I definitely won't be cash stuffing bills or anything like that because I like doing it all digitally. So the only thing that I will be cash stuffing in my two envelopes, my two binders are small categories of things I want to purchase in the future, and then also events that will be coming up. So that's what's gonna be happening in those two binders. So I think that's about it that I wanted to tell you guys in this video. I hope you found it interesting to learn about me. Definitely, because we're gonna be budgeting together. I find it very helpful if you know a little bit about the person, because then you can really understand why they budget the way they do. So if you guys have any questions on anything that I covered today, definitely leave a comment down below. I will be finishing these envelopes. I definitely want to tell you guys it was a pain in the butt to get this vinyl cut out. I'm still learning how to use my Cricut machine, and this was like my third attempt of cutting out the vinyl. The first time I forgot to do the correct pressure, so then the Cricut didn't cut it all the way through, so then it was just ripping the vinyl as I was trying to weed it out. Then the third time I put the vinyl the wrong way on the sticky sheet, so I had to restart over again. But I finally was able to get it all together, and I'm excited about doing this year. This is definitely a new thing I'm implementing in my budget, but I think it's going to help a lot, and we'll just see how it goes and take it paycheck by paycheck. And I hope you guys, if you haven't subscribed, I hope you consider to subscribing, because we definitely will be having a lot of fun this year, and I definitely want to get a lot better at filming these videos for you guys so they're also enjoyable and not boring. So that is it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and always remember, be you, stay true, be original, Inc. I'll see you guys in the next video.